What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Ethereum today. Hit that like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, all right? It is the third day of July, and here we are with about 3 days and 7 hours left in the week, sitting at $2,500, almost $2,600, man. Moved up nice last week, 12%, up 3% this week so far. Weekly RSI is looking fierce, looking great. We are in a bit of a downtrend, and for anybody that watched my Solana video recently, and it's like, how are you bullish on Ethereum but you're bearish on Solana? Well, Solana looks like it's rejecting, right? Ethereum is crowding. That's a little bit different. Ethereum's downtrend went into its oversold zone. Solana's hasn't done that yet. Let's actually, if anybody knows what I'm talking about, I actually took a bearish stance on Solana. And that might bite me in the butt. It might not. We'll see. Come on now. Why is it going? You know, I need to close that down. That's what it is. Okay. Yeah, weekly RSI here. If you notice, you know, resistance, looking to reject here. We haven't gotten oversold. It's a bit different. It's a bit more methodical. And Ethereum's RSI downtrend, while still active, what we're doing here, this is different behavior than what we've seen the other two times that we found resistance. Okay, so, and not only that, but Bitcoin, Ethereum, if we do ETH, BTC, if we look at that, I mean, this thing looks like it's bottomed out. Maybe I should have done Solana, BTC also, just to see what that is. Oh my goodness, man. I'm going to close this down because I don't know why it's... it is closed, actually. I don't know why. So I have no excuse for why trading view is being slow. But ETH BTC has bottomed out. What about Sol BTC? I know we're here for Bitcoin, not Solana, or for Ethereum, not Solana. But yeah, Sol BTC could still drop, guys. That looks like it wants to drop more. Anyways, ETH here, looking like it's on the precipice, the brink of the break. If we look at this on a daily time frame, we have 6 hours, 42 minutes left in this day, the 3rd of July, sitting at $2,600 just below there. It is very bullish when you pump to move sideways like this. This is actually one of like the most bullish phases of consolidation. And sure, you had a blemish to the upside and to the downside, but whatever, right? Call it a pulse, whatever, instead of flatlining. But the flatlining is actually very, very bullish. And I think aside from this little sine function right there, you're probably going to continue to move higher, right? Typically with these sideways moving things, you call them stair stepping. You call it stair stepping because you move up, you form a stair, you step up. You form a stair, you step up, right? We're probably, with how long this consolidation phase has been since May, we're probably going to see some spectacular breakout to the upside here, you guys. I think Ethereum's on its way, and whenever it does move up, it wouldn't surprise me in the least if, while Solana drops, that money's going into Ethereum, that money's going back into ETH, right? There's a lot of money that went from ETH into Sol. It's just going to get sucked right back into it. Or maybe even other cryptos like TRX, Cardano, Hyperliquid, SWI, Bitcoin Cash, Chainlink, Litecoin, Toncoin, Stellar Lumens, HBAR, you name it, right? But I do expect Ethereum to get a solid boost up, especially if Solana drops. You guys, Solana, this whole cycle, people have been talking about it like it's the Ethereum killer. It's made Ethereum somewhat irrelevant in the public eye for the most part, right? And that and Ethereum's lack of price action at all, or lack of upside price action. But if the narrative flips and Solana's the one that's underperforming and Ethereum's outperforming, I would assume that just like that, you got people going back. Nobody cares about the tech. Nobody cares. If they cared about the tech, they'd still be invested in Ethereum because it's still great tech. It's, you know, there's things that are inferior about it compared to Solana, but they're working on that, right? There's things that Solana's inferior with when it comes to Ethereum. Nobody cares about the tech. If you sold Ethereum for Solana, you don't give a shit about the tech. You just care about what's moving up, right? And that's most people whenever it comes to investing. And we're likely going to continue to move up in a very short amount of time, bringing all the pump chasers, all the people who are in it for the tech. They're going to be flooding back in, man. And I really do think that we're going to be moving up higher. From a high here to a low, golden ratio resistance down to the 382, so common, so normal. And when you're working your way higher, I would expect that we go to about $3,200 to $3,600, something in there, 786 to 886. That's the area that we'll probably find turbulence at next. When I say turbulence, I don't mean that it's going to be multiple months like this. I wouldn't be surprised at all if by the end of July or even the middle of July we were up here. Like literally next week or the week after we could be up here. We could see, absolutely we could. We've seen these kind of movements before in 1 week's time. So it can happen and probably does happen. And then the rest of July we'll probably consolidate, getting set up for August, where we will indeed find new all-time highs, anywhere from about $5,500 to $8,000. My personal target that I have in mind, if we take a high here to a low here, my personal target that we have in mind is the 1272 at about $7,750. when did when did the first Ethereum ETF come out? When did ETH ETF launch? Sure, yeah. Let's go with launch. When did it get launched? July 23rd, 2024, in the United States. July 23rd, 2024. Okay, so let's look at that real quick. July 23rd, 2024. April, May, June, July. Isn't it funny how everybody's bullish on Solana's ETF getting approved? And I just made a video on Solana, guys, and we went through gold ETF, silver ETF. I think we stopped there, but I mean, I could have kept going with copper, uranium, other ETFs, any and all ETFs, guys. We did the Bitcoin ETF. Bitcoin's the only ETF in history when an American the American markets have their first ETF on something. It's the only asset in history that went up and did not go down. Ethereum, number 2 in crypto, it went down. It actually consolidated. In July, right, because that's when the ETF got approved, was July 23rd, 2024, so likely at the lower ends of this month, okay? Right, probably like right here whenever we pumped a little bit. We did not return to prices that were higher than that until 1, 2, 3, 4 months later. In stocks, it's like 6 months, 9 months, 18 months, more than that until we return to prices that are higher. Crypto's open 24/7. That, in theory, is probably why it moved up faster, but inevitably you still went lower. You know what I mean? People who are bullish on the Solana ETF, Bitcoin's the only asset in history that actually had a bullish reaction, and even then it consolidated for 7 months after it pumped. It did pump for like 2 months, but then after that it consolidated for 7 months. ETFs are not bullish, you guys. They're not bullish, and everybody's bullish on this ETF right now. I think they're going to be sorely mistaken. ETH is going to take the crown. It already has the crown. It's in number 2. It's in the number 2 spot, right? But it's going to make people remember who's daddy whenever it comes to Sol versus ETH. Absolutely will be. If we look at this from an overall low here to an overall high here, I'm going to take away the last cycle's high to low, or the prior 2 cycles ago. Oh no, that was last cycle. Okay, low to high. We bounced right off the golden ratio here. Okay, here we are finding resistance at this golden ratio, showing respect at that. I wouldn't be surprised at all if we went all the way up to this golden ratio right there at 8,052, which just so happens to be from a high to a low here of last cycle's high to low, right there just above the $7,700 target at the 1272. I wouldn't be surprised in the least if in the midst of Solana crapping the bed and having a hard time, if Ethereum actually ripped through the roof. Because again, all that attention is going to come back. It's going to validate itself. And what's more validating that you have a champion than just doing well on your own, doing well and obliterating the competition? I think that's what's going to happen, man. Memes are going to come back to ETH. Well, maybe not to ETH, but they might go elsewhere from Solana. Something to think about. But ETH is looking prime, man. ETH is looking prime. And I really do think that it is going to see in August, if not later, whatever. Our next target area when we break out to new all-time highs, which is coming soon, we'll probably be at new all-time highs, if not by the end of July, sometime in August. Target area is 5,500 to 8,000, but I'm thinking probably closer to that $8,000 level than anything. Looking at the daily time frame here, getting in on the short-term stuff. I like the daily RSI. I don't have any qualms with it. Yeah, it's fine. It's neutral, but bullish leaning, I suppose. 1 hour RSI looks good. You did move up with less volume, so now you're moving down. But again, you're doing this stair-stepping thing where you're kind of in a horizontal channel. You're probably at a good area to find support. Consolidate more, move up, break through, whatever. Soon enough, you will be breaking through. I have no doubt in that. 1 hour RSI showing lower lows in the RSI while giving higher lows in the price. That's bullish, my friends. That's a bullish thing. It's not a bearish thing. It's nothing to be worried about or concerned with. From a high here to a low there. 1618, dude, it's perfect. It's literally perfect. We're going to see $2,700 here like over the coming days, sometime next week, and if not earlier. 4 hour time frame, very bullish. Very, very, very bullish. No bearish divergence, but yeah, you're just consolidating, still consolidating, higher lows, lower highs, or lower lows than that. That's that whole thing. Overall, the RSI is definitely in a more dominant bullish posturing than a bearish one, and we're just finding resistance here where we found resistance and support before, so that's okay. Daily time frame looks good. All the other time frames look good. If we move down a little bit from here, I'm not concerned, man. From a, I don't even know if I want to take that low to high. I might want to take this high to low, actually. High to low, golden ratio, yeah. Go down to 2460. You're at 2570 right now. Go down to 2460, even 2370, 2380, whatever. Who cares? You probably don't go back down here because you found support at that level already a couple times. I would think you find support at the 0.5 or just above there, and maybe this is it. Maybe you're finding support at the golden ratio. Either way, you'll be up at $2,700 to $2,800 if not by the end of this week, by the end of next week or sometime early next week. And then upwards and onwards, man. I mean, whenever you do that, after having this kind of like fake out to the downside, whenever you get back up to these high areas, you're going to break out. Absolutely. This month's going to be spectacular. You're going to see some growth. We should close out the month of July well above $3,000, if not even potentially above $4,000 to $5,000. I'll see you guys on the next one, okay? Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. And I expect the next couple months to be weird for crypto. It's going to be weird. Narratives are going to change, specifically around Ethereum and Solana, and probably various other cryptos too. Things are going to be weird, man, in a good way. If you're not like fully allocated into Solana. Okay, bye-bye.